Again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. And the sun is low in the sky even though it's not that late. And I have been missing doing geometrics. So I'm going to grab a couple of cards and hope that they're not too bad. And my basic plan is to try and find colors I like that will actually come out of bottles. Yay, that's a plan I can endorse, but not succeed at right off. So I'm going to loosen that up and go back and do some other things. I'm just going to stick with colors that I like, put a bunch of them on, and remember to come back for them, wishing that I had left. Oh, that's just somewhat, there's no polite word for that. Hey, that's going to work. I am going to have to make sure that these colors go into a configuration that I can manage to not pull certain colors over other colors where it's going to become a problem. I don't know how to put that any other way, and I really wish my bottles had stayed clear. There's like 40 bottles, so it's not very easy to check. And I'm going to let you stare at that for a second and get this thing out of the tip of the color that I really want in there as best I can, as quickly as possible. And hopefully I haven't lost you. I've been trying to force myself for the longest time to use these brilliant, fabulous colors. Oh, and I made this yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember now. Yep. So, I'm just going to start, and then as I go on, I need some of these out of the way now, actually. Unfortunately, for me and you, it's a waiting game, because I'm going to have to rotate this canvas in order to get it to work functionally well. And I need some white. The white will go here, and it might go there. And I'm planning on putting my dark colors in after. And I don't really care how I start, so long as I have some coverage on the canvas. Because anything that I put on as a base layer is going to help whatever I add next. I just don't want to mix yellow and purple until I'm ready. Actually, I just don't want to mix yellow and purple, period, because they're not going to work out well. I'm going to knock off that color, push it toward the edge, and touch it on the edge. And I'm going to find my Prussian blue, because I can. The name of my book on the Amazon link, as I always say. I'm going to try and grab some of that paint color next to it. Some of this over here. I want that pink right now. I hope that I can get myself to either add some white back in or leave some white space or paint some of this white. I really like this huge clot of pink inside, dry paint inside my rim. I'm loving that right there, is beautiful. And that's better. Finally got what I wanted. Oh, and I didn't use what I had to start with. But as long as it's a little cooler out here right now, at this exact moment, which is great, because my paint won't dry as quick. I can push this card both directions. I can always use the smutsy paint, smutsy card, and schmutzy paint, because it creates a different kind of texture. And then I'll touch it back again. I haven't gotten close to what I intend to do yet with those oranges, and I may pull some yellow into this. And whenever I have a bunch of paint, I'm going to pull it all the way to the edge so I can cover over. It occurs to me I don't use nearly enough magenta, and I want to try it with the white. I think it'll turn out nicely. Yeah. And I'm going to pounce and press my card. Let me steal a little white there. Use a little bit more of that magenta. Just squish it right into place. That is the white pearl from Anita's. I don't mind that at all. I think I'm being called to some blue, but I'm not sure if I should leave that magenta on my card or not, and I think the answer is no, so I'm going to leave a little bit of purple that was on there, and I think that'll work really well. And try and use some of that same color combination left over on my card, because I'm not going to get it any other way. Hopefully you can see some of that. And I'm going to have to clean my card off pretty quick. Right off the turntable. I don't think that's happened before. Alright, so I'm going to go back up here and grab this other blue to cover my edge ever so much, ever so slightly. And I can also grab a Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula, take the paint right off that little card and use it on the edge right there, which seems like a good idea to me right now. I'm going to continue using that schmutzy card. And what am I going to put with it? I want some more magenta. I never have used enough magenta because it's just so pricey. That's the first thing I think of. Alright, so we started a trend to use the paint on the card by taking it off with a spatula. And if you can get a little bead of it on there, you just rub it right in with your fingers and you're all good to go. And wipe that spatula out, because if you come back later, you're going to find paint on it and you're not going to like it. I'm going to grab some yellow. And then I'm going to open it up and stick a skewer in the tip, because nothing is really working exactly as I had hoped. And it's still not coming out very easily, but I can see there now. Looks like it's definitely time to go through and clean the threads out of my bottles, because I've got thread paint stuck to me. So definitely time for new colors. Might be time for a new batch of cards. And I think, if I'm right, they might be right around the corner here somewhere. I'm going to grab that white again. Try and leave myself a little separation so I don't make too much schmutz. I'm thinking that I want to go for the red, but I'm really wishing I had a much smaller card. And I'm thinking that maybe I can just go ahead and use one of my little scoops to drag with, and that didn't work too badly. And then make sure I don't have any blue on there. I want more white in there. Tap that off. To decide what I want to do in that spot. I guess I'm just going to give myself permission to go ahead and use my spatula to pull some of these geometrics. Because it's a great tool. And it picks up excess paint, and usually, as spatulas will do in your kitchen, they make great spreaders, don't they? So I'm just going to go ahead over and over again until, ooh, that was awesome. I like the magenta with the orange. I don't want to go too far. I haven't really spent a lot of time using the spatula to add the paint to the canvas, but I think it's actually a really excellent idea because I like the texture it leaves. It's just that it would be so easy to go overboard by making marks over and over again until they could become muddy, and I don't want to do that. Alright, so either grab the pink or the white, put it where you see, when I see the white and I like how it looks, that's when I fill it with white. And if I have enough to do texture, I'll often do that too. That's pretty cool. I'm going to wipe off my spatula because I see over here that I've got a little bit of room for adjustment, and I don't want the blue in there. I've got a bunch of paint right there. In a puddle. And there were some nice cells there too. I don't mind that pattern though, not a bit. I also don't mind changing up the color of the edges. It sort of adds to the composition. So I really like how that's moving. I don't know why it reminds me of a city. Maybe it's because it's squares. I'm going to try and put as much paint on that spatula as I can before I move across. And then use my residuals. I love that word, by the way. I'm sure if you ever read the video descriptions, you will know I'm telling you the truth, because I use it a lot. Residuals. Paint pouring person's best friend, residuals. Or at least mine. So, I have this yellow and some orange there. And I wanted to put some purple up there. I really, really did. But since I have what I have, and I'm going to use what I use, I also wanted to give myself permission to spread some paint around with the basting brush. Because I like texture. And when the basting brush has color on it, it will often deposit it wherever you put it. And then there's these things, which I basically just want to drag through. These things being puddles I left behind. That was an interesting non-color. I think it's time to rinse that off right now. So I see I just put white in there. How did I do that? Where did you even come from? I like this Prussian blue, and I like what the purple does with it. I see what I just did. Yes, I do. I kind of like the splashes sometimes, but not all the time. So I really want more of that purple, no matter what. And I think it's good to start with the Prussian blue. And I'm going to grab that purple, whatever I can get out anyway. And some more of this. And then maybe clean off my basting brush for a minute again, and my spatula as best I can. Throw some white in there too, maybe. Hope for the best. Give myself something for the edge, which is mostly Prussian blue at this point, but that's okay. I could put splashes of paint wherever I want and then drag the spatula through, as long as it's not going directly down to canvas. Not so sure about that mark I just put in there, but I may get adjusted to it soon enough. I really want some Prussian blue. I don't mind any of that, but I want more. I'm thinking that if I put the side of the card in and just mush it about, that I can probably get away with that. It's a different texture, but I like different textures. It's a dip texture. I also think that if I take a moment and look at this, that I can come up with something. Oh, I hate it when I run out of time. But I can use whatever I want as far as tools go. To add even more interest. I'm going to have to touch up my edges, but I'm not unhappy with the entire scenario that this worked out to be. I'm going to have to throw a little yellow over the side on this very deep orange. But otherwise, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio in the gallery in the backyard, saying I love you guys. Thank you for 85,000 of you almost. Getting there anyway, quickly. And if you want to help me out, watch more videos. Watch them longer, more than anything. And give me a thumbs up. And I appreciate that. If you are interested in having the opportunity to win one of my paintings or a calendar or my book, on the end screens you'll find an exhibition video. And that's where I do place my prizes when there's a drawing, and there's almost always a drawing. Yeah, just dragging across. I'm trying to break myself of the habit of needing to be just straight through. She straightens out a dot. Anyway, so this is why I love geometrics, and I finally got some of the colors that I was really looking forward to having, and I think I'm just about done, and so I should tell you guys whatever I'm going to tell you, and I'll torch, and that may release a few bubbles in the paint, but I don't think there's much of anything when you pull cards or swipe like I just did. But I have Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest under the video, along with a paint pouring recipe. You guys are welcome to ask me questions whenever you want. My email address is under the video. If you're interested in purchasing an artwork, take the hashtag from the title of the video, and sometimes the date helps too, and go ahead and give those to me when you contact me via email, easpbgallery@gmail.com. So what else is there? There's a thank you to everybody who's helped contribute to keep me going in the past, and if you want to contribute and get into that contest, you need to make a $10 minimum donation to PayPal or Patreon, or use Zelle, which is affiliated with my email address, if you should so desire. Yes, I just did something different, but it's okay, because, like I said, different is good. I like making marks. I like scratching and paint. I always have. And I love you guys. I said that before. I'm stalling now because I forget that I have to tell you stuff. Like, please give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. I really appreciate it. And I have Facebook groups, fans and Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Fans and Collectors for fans and collectors, Expressionist Art Studio Appreciation Group for students. My book and lots of tools, including the OXO omelet turning spatulas, are on the Amazon link underneath the video, underneath Show More when you